Ladies and gentlemen, we've played. Well, I haven't played it. Nate's played Doom: The Dark Ages, so I got to give a shout out here to Bethesda up front. They did send over an early copy of it for us to play, and it is on the PlayStation 5. So Nate has had a chance to play it. Nate, how are you doing?
I am doing well, excited to talk about Doom: The Dark Ages.
Yeah, I'm excited to play it too, but you're the one playing it, so wanted to have you on here so we could get your thoughts on it. These are mostly Nate's impressions of it. This is not like a full review of the game. Wait, how many hours are you into it right now?
I am 14 hours into it. I am
Oh wow.
88% through.
Oh, 88% through the game. Okay, wow.
Yes,
Nice.
so
Okay, good
only
stuff.
a couple of stages left to complete the game.
Okay, so it is, I mean, it's out next week on Thursday. So I'll be playing it, like I said, as soon as it drops. But at this point, playing it on the PS5, going through it. How's it looking on the, because this is on the base PS5, so this is not using like a PS5 Pro or anything. And usually if you get the impressions of the PS5 base model, usually the PS5 Pro, then you assume it's going to look even better. But what's how's this game looking for you, Nate, in terms of the visuals?
It's very visually pleasing. The graphics in some areas are honestly jaw-dropping. The level of detail to the demons and even the world itself is next gen. This is a next gen experience. And to see the flesh just melt off the demons as you're firing upon them, be it a shotgun or the Ravager or even the Impaler, it's always a delight to just see the flesh melting off these enemies, and you want to keep doing it. But the level of detail is very impressive to see the demons explode or the fire effects, the rain effects. It's definitely a next gen feel that we haven't seen from a lot of games up to this point, but this is that moment if you just want to feel as though you are experiencing something that wouldn't be possible on last gen consoles.
Oh, I'm looking at the footage that you had here. So we have the footage you're seeing right now is just Nate, I assume, just going around for the next, however long, just destroying everything in his path, as you'd expect with Doom. But there's a lot happening right now in front of me. I mean, I do like immediately the weapon that they have on the right side here, where you got the skull that's just getting obliterated into a bunch of like bullets. But you're parrying a lot of stuff. Like, what is parry
Uh-huh.
a big thing in the game?
Parry does play a very pivotal role in the game. As you'll see in the footage, you can parry any of the incoming green attacks, and you can change the color through the options. So if you want to make it blue or any other color that may stand out better for you, you have that option. But you do have to parry particular attacks to do certain damage to some of the bosses or some of the generals in combat. But the parrying is just very advantageous to you as as you advance through the game, you get runes for the shield, and you will see that in this video. And the rune I have equipped in this video is called the Heaven Splitter. And what it does is sends down a bolt of energy, and when the lightning strikes, it will stun a group of enemies around it. So that's very, beneficial to you. So you want to parry the attacks. And some of the parrying you'll do will also be for melee attacks coming in, and it will stun the enemy, allowing you to either use a melee attack or maybe just blast them with the shotgun or whatever weapon you have equipped at the time. But parrying is a big deal in the game, and honestly, it's a lot of fun. You can adjust how wide the parry window is to you. So if you want it very brief to increase the challenge, you have that option. If you want to make it wider to give you extra time to parry, that's also an option available to you. So the game's accessibility and how you approach basically everything is very customizable. But yes, to answer your question, parrying is a pretty big gameplay mechanic in Doom Dark Ages.
Dude, the shield looks crazy too. He's got like it's got like hooks and claws on the side of it. You throwing around like, is it like a Captain America looking shield?
Yeah, it's basically a Captain America shield with a chainsaw going around the edges. And
Yeah, it sounds like Doom.
yeah, you can upgrade the shield, I believe, 4 times in the game. And the way you upgrade the shield, it
Mm.
can either ricochet off enemies to cut down more of the peon weaker demons, but it can also stick into the enemies, and then you can upgrade some of the weapons. Where you'll see in the video where I use the shredder, and you'll see the bolt sticking out of the demon. And then when I throw the shield at them, the bolts explode out of him, and it will damage any of the other enemies in the proximity. You could also use one of the guns, it's the Impaler, and you can shoot at the shield and it will ricochet off it to hit any of the demons in the proximity around that foe as well. So the shield is also very pivotal to the combat system here.
Oh, it looks like, yeah, because they had in Doom Eternal, they had what was it, the flesh system, or they called it something like that, where as you would be annihilating any of the demons, chunks of flesh and stuff, you'd end up seeing their skeleton or bones in their arms, and it looks a lot like that here too. Where you're fighting like this huge enemy that I'm watching now, and just chunks of like their skin are flying off and stuff. It looks super. I mean, it looks like Doom. It looks like super violent and visceral.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's very satisfying.
Yeah, I would say you're just running through all the little guys. There's a big, like, spider base looking thing running around with cybernetic implants. He's ripping them out.
See, he's an interesting boss. Well, not a boss. He's an interesting enemy to confront because as you're seeing it, I have to do damage to the legs and body because he is equipped with armor. And as I'm doing the damage, you see the armor begin to glow. And when it gets to that very bright orange, it means I can either rush in with the shield or I can throw my shield and it will destroy that armor and it will leave him vulnerable to attacks so you can actually finish him off.
Oh, he looks super. Doom guy looks super heavy in this game. Just like slammed down on the ground, just annihilated everyone just there.
Yeah, he's a pure powerhouse. He's a tank. That's the best way to put it. He is a tank. You jump in the air, you land, you will clear out the area of any weaker foes.
Are you seeing are there any enemies that stuck out to you so far?
I mean, a few of the bosses kind of stuck out, but I don't think there was any particular enemy that I had confronted that really stood out to me. I was like, wow, look at him. It hasn't impressed me that way. There's cool encounters and there's really good battles being had in the game, but there hasn't just been that one demon or foe that's been like, whoa, that was unexpected. Maybe in those final few stages I'll encounter that, but so far, no.
What is this leader detected? It says you're fighting a leader.
Yes, the leader will be the demon you see in the back that has shields around him. So what you have to do...
It's like this Oblivion gate.
Yeah, you have to clear out all of the enemies that you have in that battlefield, and some of the enemies also have shields equipped, which you will see. And you have to damage those shields to get them up to that like phosphorescent orange so I can destroy them. And as you're clearing these waves of enemies, you will see the bar below the health bar of the leader go down.
Yeah, there's like a purple one, yeah.
Yeah, so once that's depleted, you can then engage in combat with the leader.
Okay. So you got to defeat all the, like, basically a little mini army that they have, militia. Then you fight the. Okay. Yep. Okay. It looks like you're just sort of exploring around this level. I was trying to figure out because they were talking about it as if it was more open than some of the other Doom games in the past. And a lot of it was just like point to point or mission to mission or just area to area with some of the other Doom games. Is this just more open in general?
It is more open than Doom 2016. And when you start off the game, the first few levels are they're very short and to the point, where they don't have that open feel. After about a handful of levels, they begin to really expand. And once you have that expansion, what you're seeing in the footage is one of the early bigger levels, is that you'll be able to go into like secondary paths where you'll be able to find the colored keys that are a staple of Doom, to find secret areas, find collectibles like the toys. And all of that is naturally secondary. It's not pivotal to the main plot, but it is just a huge kind of open battlefield. You still have that corridor design where you are naturally going to flow into the sections that the game wants you to go to. But there's a lot of secondary paths that you can explore or discover along the way. And the game's map system, you can access it right away and it will show you just the whole area of the map, but blacked out because you haven't discovered it yet. So if you're kind of wondering how to get to a secret area, you can evaluate it and say, oh, okay, it looks like there's a path below me. And maybe you'll find the way to get there. But it is more open than 2016.
Oh, you cut that guy in half. That's not even synced up with the video. Sorry,
that's a good sequence there. Just takes that shield straight down.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be playing it from the start. I don't know if this will sync up. It might be close. That looked crazy though. That was good. You hold on. You said secret areas. Is there
Mhm.
stuff worth like looking for in this? I didn't even ask you how the upgrade system is. You mentioned the shield got upgraded a couple times.
Yeah, so like you get like the codex type of collectibles, you get the toy collectible, and there's also gold and such to be found, the ruby heart and a wraith stone. And gold is naturally used when you find some of the altars and stuff, so you can upgrade your weapons, you can upgrade the shield, you can also upgrade your melee weapons. And some of the upgrades will require either gold, the ruby heart, or the wraith stone, depending on how deep the upgrade is. So every gun has either 3 or 4 upgrades. The shield, once you get the ruins as you're playing through the game, all of them have at least 4 upgrades. And then with the melee, it depends which one. The power gauntlet, which is just your hands, have 5 upgrades. The flail, which is the ball and chain, also has 5 upgrades. And then the dread mace, which you will see in the footage, has 4 upgrades. So you do have to kind of balance which ones you want to prioritize because you're not going to want to spend too much money or a wraith stone on, let's say, the super shotgun if you're primarily
Hmm.
playing with something like the Ravager.
Well, the
The-
backdrop is crazy. There's like two giant enemies fighting each other.
oh yeah, you have the giant demon and the huge knight. Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, so it has like a lot. There's like these areas look very dynamic all of a sudden now. You were sort of in this
hmm
biome to start, like this kind of almost walled off, almost jungle looking area. Now it's massive battlefield, post apocalyptic. I guess in medieval times or something. And now you have these huge giants fighting in the background. That's cool. That's a cool looking area.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure I captured that because I thought it was a really cool sequence that just shows the scope and really the visuals of the game.
Yeah, Doom 2016, it had some open areas, but a lot of times it would feel kind of like closed off or kind of claustrophobic inside of like a lot of building areas sort of that they had, but this looks very open.
Yeah, it just takes a few levels to get to this openness. The introductory levels are very streamlined, very similar to what you got from Doom 2016.
Mhm.
And then once you get to the open levels, the game really begins to shine. I would say the second half of the game is far stronger than the first half of the game.
Okay. Okay. I mean, for what I'm seeing, it for better or worse, I mean, it looks like Doom. Looks like what I'd be expecting, but I
hmm
like kind of the flair of the hey, we're gonna have this little interesting twist of medieval sort of theming to it. And the weapons all have that where you said you had like the flail and even the shield kind of plays into that then. Even though it's like a chainsaw shield. These are like this is a really cool aesthetic for it. Just fits in so well for it.
It really does. And as you're playing, it feels so natural. And one of the surprises for me came in the second half of the game where you get Doom Dark Ages equivalent of the BFG. But it's not a BFG, it's a BFC.
Hmm.
Now, what is the C? It's a crossbow.
Hmm. That's clever. That's cool. Yeah, that's I'll have to see that for myself. That sounds awesome.
Yeah,
Uh
I didn't want to show any footage of that because it's a pretty damn cool crossbow.
okay. This looks yeah, I mean the adventure aspect there. I mean, it looks like there like I'm seeing it now. It almost looks like you're kind of adventuring through or breaking through walls and it's like a little like raiding a tomb or something here right now. Do you are there puzzle sections like that? I mean, I see you kind of knocking stuff down right now, a little bit of exploration here. Is that common? Like are there a lot of these moments in the game?
In some areas, yes. A lot of it is more restricted to the secondary areas where you're trying to find secrets or stuff. But along the main path, there are sequences where you will have to use the shield to maybe sever a chain that will then lower an item that you jump on. Or you'll have to push a block to gain access to a certain platform so you can climb higher. And what you're seeing in the footage there is part of the main path. So you do have to do this. So there's some platforming. There's also what you'll see is statues that they are green and they're dripping, and you throw the
Mm.
shield on them, and then that allows you to kind of jump up to get to that next level. So there are platforming segments. There's also areas where you do use the shield and you just burst through a wall, and usually that's indicated by a purple or green insignia. And if it's green, that's the main path. If it's purple or the bluish color, that's usually secondary. So there are indicators as to where you are going and whether or not it's worth your time. So if you don't want to do that secondary stuff, you don't have to, and you can just focus on that green mainline path. But there are some platforming sequences, nothing overly complex that's going to lead to confusion. And even the puzzles are very rudimentary. And usually the answer is right in front of you. Maybe you have to look up, but generally it's nothing that's going to keep you too confused or anything. It's a very quick, well-paced game, and you're going to progress fairly easily.
Okay, because you were mentioning how many hours you're in. I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be their take on a not open world Doom, but open zoned almost, a bit more open ended. I was kind of having thoughts of, oh, are they going to pad this thing out a bit in some ways? But I guess my question for that is, how long, Nate, when you started the game up, how long did it take you to just start blasting demons?
I mean, you're really blasting demons pretty much from the first stage, but you're blasting demons with, something like the combat shotgun. What you're
Yeah, I mean,
seeing
we talking the first 10 minutes. Am I blasting demons in the first 10 minutes?
I mean, pretty close. Let's say this. By
Okay.
the sixth stage, you're going to be in that type of combat zone that you're seeing in that footage earlier, where you're just jumping
People
into the
run that.
battlefield and you're right. You're not going to have necessarily the weapons I have.
Yeah.
Those are
Well,
late.
yeah.
Yeah, those are some late game weapons that I have at that point. But you're going to be in a huge open battlefield just fighting tons of demons very
This Doom.
quickly.
We're not here to talk or have long dialogue sections. We're looking to just wipe out demons. That's it,
Hmm.
right? So if I'm thinking the first 15 minutes, you're blowing holes in demons here.
I mean, very close.
Okay.
The game introduces you to a lot of the mechanics in the first few levels. So the first level, oh, here's the gun. Second level, you're going to be in the huge mech suit. And then they're going to introduce you to the flying sequences with the dragon. And then
Yeah, this is all stuff they showed. So
right.
the big robot section. This is stuff they all showed. They've already explained this. How was that? Because I looked at that, I said that's an interesting idea. I don't know how necessary it is, but it was kind of cool looking, I guess. What is that to play like exactly?
It's very basic.
Is
It
it?
it basically just comes down to you punch the demons, you build up a meter, then you can do a special attack. Otherwise, all you're doing is dodging.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of like you're a huge rock'em sock'em robot.
Eh,
And I mean, it's entertaining. These sequences are generally very short, but it's cool to kick a giant demon in the face and see him fall through a bridge.
I almost wonder if that was them going, we can do this with the new systems, whatever. Let's do it for fun, kind of thing. It
Yeah,
doesn't seem like it was the big focus on like deep elements of gameplay or anything. It was kind of
no.
like, oh, big robot punch stuff, Doom. Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun little side distraction. It's nothing that it's gonna wow you, but it's like, oh, this is kind of cool. I'm beating up giant demons in a huge Slayer mech suit. But again, like these sequences are pretty short, so it's kind of more spectacle than anything. But it's fun for what they are.
Yeah, I mean, in that case, they can kind of show off id Tech a bit more with some of those big set pieces, I guess. I'm looking at this as is this Doom, Nate? Am I going to get in this and be like, okay, yeah, this is what I was looking for when I heard about a new Doom game?
Yes, this is Doom.
Okay, I feel like that's what most people are just. This is still Doom, right? I'm getting into a Doom game. I'm looking to blast demons. I'm looking to do all kinds of destruction. You're looking to feel powerful as Doom Slayer. Like the demons are supposed to be afraid of you, and from what I've seen in the footage, they probably should be because it's like the entire field's getting wiped out. But
Yeah, you're a beast. You're a complete monster with the between the parrying, using just the shield to inflict damage with the weapons you have. You are a monster where the demons should be fearing you. Like they should be running when you enter the combat.
like I feel like most people kind of understand what they're getting into with that, and that's what they want to hear. It's Doom. It's like, oh, okay, I'm in. So I mean, it looks cool. I'm looking forward to it next week. It seems like you're going to be wrapping this game up in a pretty soon, and I guess it's kept you entertained enough to get all the way through. So that's a good sign for a game nowadays.
Yeah, I mean It's what you do expect from a Doom game. It's mindless fun. It has that arcadey feel of where you're just going through with some awesome guns and you're just shredding and ripping through waves of demons. And I mean, there's enough variety in the gun types. There are, I mean, let me see. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 guns in total. Some of those do include the variant. So you have the combat shotgun. Then the secondary option would be the super shotgun. And then you have the chain shot, which you do see in the footage, where you're just shooting the huge like cannonball attached to a chain, and it comes back, and you charge that up, and you just blast through. You could put holes through some of the demons, so that's a really fun weapon to use. You got naturally the rocket and the grenade launcher, so you just blow up whatever you want, and just having a lot of those options, even the shield ruin abilities, like I mentioned and how there are 4 different ones where you see the heaven splitter. There's also an auto turret. There's the holy swarm that is an ethereal dagger shootout when you parry. So there's a lot of options of how you can approach basically every combat scenario. And it's a lot about that player customization of you are the Doomslayer. So you get to choose which weapons you want to, level up, which ruins of the shield you want to prioritize, how you want to approach every combat situation, and how you basically just want to be a badass.
I'm sorry, you're showing in your gameplay right now. It has the Rock'em Sock'em Robot, big robot moment. This actually looks awesome. So that's the idea. It's supposed to look cool. It's supposed to be big.
Yeah, it looks cool.
This looks cool. I will say that. I mean, you punch through a barricade that looked like it was made of like guts and blood and stuff, and then you're punching this guy, and his arm is like completely coming off, and that looks cool. It looks basic, sure, but it looks kind of cool. I don't know. This looks fun.
I mean, that's the thing. It's definitely a spectacle where you're just kicking the demon in the face with a huge mech foot, and he just falls back, or you're charging up the attack in his hand, and you're just blasting him with an energy attack.
I got a Gatling gun now. Look at this. Man.
Yes, okay. The Gatling gun just melts through those demons.
Jeez. Yeah, it looks fun. I'm looking forward to it. This is cool. But those are some of Nate's thoughts on it. Doom the Dark Ages, man. Looks like it's delivering so far. So Nate will play through it, I guess, the rest of the way. I'll play it next week when it drops. I'm looking forward to it. I like Doom 2016. I like Doom Eternal. Looking like I'm going to like this one too. So thanks to Nate for stopping in. Thanks for Bethesda for sending over a code so you can check it out early. And we'll be back, I guess, at some point. Another release coming up, I feel like, from Microsoft, since they're dropping stuff like every couple games a month now, it feels like. So we'll be back with some more impressions and discussion on different games as they release. And we'll see you guys next time.